She said no to $3,000. $3,000 she desperately needed. $3,000 that could have stopped the eviction notice taped to her door, kept the lights from going dark, put groceries in her kitchen, bought her son new shoes. But she pushed the money back, and by the next morning, black SUVs would line her street, 8 attorneys would stand outside her tiny shop, and nothing in her life would ever be the same again. 1. A life hanging by threads. Lena Brooks woke up at 5:30 a.m. to the sound of an alarm she hated. Her small apartment above her tailoring shop was freezing. She kept the heat off to save money. She slept in a sweater now. She reached for her phone. Bank balance, $312. Rent due in 4 days, $1,050. Electric bill overdue, $248. Water bill warning, final notice. She closed her eyes. She was $986 short. Downstairs, her 15-year-old son Marcus was already awake, doing homework at the kitchen table. "Morning, Mom," he said softly. He never complained about the cold. She made scrambled eggs, 3 eggs split between 2 plates. She gave him the bigger portion. "You're not eating much," he said. "I had a big dinner," she lied. On the counter was a school permission slip. Engineering camp, $400. Marcus hadn't asked her about it. He knew. Next to it were his sneakers. The soles were peeling. Lena swallowed hard. 2. The shop that refused to die. Downstairs, her shop looked like it had been frozen in time. Brooks Alterations. Same brick walls her grandmother painted, same creaky wooden floors, same 1983 Singer sewing machine. She ran her fingers across it. "Still fighting, huh?" she whispered. On the wall hung a faded newspaper clipping. "Local seamstress saves wedding day." It showed her grandmother, smiling, needle in hand. A bride's dress had torn 2 hours before the ceremony. Her grandmother fixed it for free. When asked why, she said, "When someone needs a miracle, you don't send them a bill." Lena touched the frame. "I'm trying, Grandma." But trying didn't pay rent. 3. The call. The shop phone rang. She already knew who it was. "This is City Electric. Your account is scheduled for disconnection Friday." "I'll have it by Friday," she said. It was a promise she didn't know how to keep. She opened the cash register. $52. That was yesterday's total. She would need a miracle. 4. The woman who charged less. Her regular customers came. Mrs. Ramirez needed a hem on her dress. $12, Lena said. It should have been $20. "You're too kind," Mrs. Ramirez whispered. "Just bring me business next time." Later, Mr. Coleman, 84 years old, needed a button sewn back on his only church shirt. "No charge," she said. "You can't keep giving things away," he told her. "I'll be fine." She poured him coffee. They couldn't afford luxury, but they could afford decency. 5. 8:58 p.m. By 8 p.m., she had made $140, still hundreds short. Rain began pounding the windows. At 8:58 p.m., there was a knock. Not normal, desperate. She froze. Then she saw him through the glass. Mid-50s, soaked in rain, expensive suit ripped clean through the shoulder seam. His eyes weren't angry. They were terrified. She cracked the door. "Please," he said. "Every tailor in the city is closed. I have a meeting at 8 a.m. tomorrow. If I walk in like this, 400 people could lose their jobs." His voice shook. "My luggage was lost. I caught the suit on a car door. I don't have time." Behind him, a black luxury sedan idled. Lena studied the damage. This wasn't a quick fix. This was surgery. 4 hours, she said. Full reconstruction. "I'll pay anything." He pulled out his wallet. Stacks of cash. "I have $3,000. It's yours." $3,000. Her mind calculated instantly. Rent, electricity, groceries, Marcus's shoes, camp fee. Solved. Her hand moved toward the money, then stopped. A photo slipped from his wallet. A young woman in medical scrubs. My daughter, first year of residency. Lena thought of Marcus upstairs, of the newspaper clipping, of her grandmother's words. She slowly pushed the cash back. You can't take that. His face went blank. What? You're drowning, she said gently. I don't charge people for the rope. He stared at her like she'd lost her mind. You need this money. I do, she said honestly, but not like this. 6. 4 hours that changed everything. The storm knocked the power out. She lit candles and worked, carefully removing torn stitching, reinforcing seams, using heavy-duty seam instead of the cheap factory material. He watched her. You make it look like surgery. It is, she replied, just on fabric. They talked. His name was Daniel Whitmore. The meeting was an $800 million merger, 3 factories on the line. If it failed, 400 layoffs before Christmas. She stitched in silence. Midnight came. The lights returned. 1:17 a.m. She handed him the jacket. It looked brand new, stronger than before. He tried it on. Perfect. He pulled out the $3,000 again. Please. No. Why? Because then this becomes a transaction. Tears filled his eyes. Nobody's ever. You don't have to deserve kindness, she said. He wrote his name and phone number on a piece of paper, just in case. Outside, the driver stepped out. Mr. Whitmore, the board meeting. Mr. Whitmore, she noticed, but she was too tired to think. He shook her hand. I'll never forget this. She watched the car disappear into the wet night. Then she went upstairs and wondered if she had just made the biggest mistake of her life. She had no idea that by 10 a.m. her street would be filled with black SUVs and 8 corporate attorneys and cameras. And Daniel Whitmore wasn't just a desperate father. He was worth $5.1 billion.
Lena barely slept. 4 hours later, she was back downstairs flipping the open sign. Marcus had left for school. The bills were still on the table. Nothing had changed. Or so she thought. The cars. At 9:42 a.m., a black SUV drove slowly past her shop. Then another. They didn't park. They circled. At 10:08 a.m., one stopped across the street, engine running. Lena's stomach tightened. Mr. Coleman looked up from his crossword. You expecting company? No. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Is this Lena Brooks? Yes. Please confirm your business address. Why? Were you open last night around 9 p.m.? Her heart skipped. I had a late customer. Thank you. Click. Her hands began to shake. The school call. 10:21 a.m. Marcus called. Mom, there's a man here asking about you. Her blood ran cold. What do you mean? He said he works for a law firm. The principal made him leave. Mom, what's going on? Stay inside. Don't leave with anyone but me. She hung up. Her breathing became shallow. Lawyers, school, cars outside. What had she done? The 8. 10:34 a.m. All 3 SUVs parked at once. 8 people stepped out. Dark suits, briefcases, serious faces. They walked toward her shop in formation. Mr. Coleman whispered, I'm calling the police. The lead man opened the door. Miss Lena Brooks? Yes. I'm Richard Hayes, Senior Legal Counsel for Whitmore Global Holdings. Her knees weakened. Am I being sued? No, he said calmly. You are not. Then why are you here? Because of what you did last night. The truth. Another woman stepped forward. I'm Angela Morris, VP of Communications. Richard held up a tablet and turned it toward her. A magazine cover filled the screen. Forbes. The man she had sewn for. The same eyes. The same face. Headline. Daniel Whitmore, the reluctant billionaire reinventing American manufacturing. Net worth $5.1 billion. Lena blinked. No. Richard nodded. CEO and founder of Whitmore Industries, 52 manufacturing facilities, 14,000 employees. The room tilted. Mr. Coleman grabbed her arm. "Sit down, honey." She collapsed into a chair. "He was just a man," she whispered. "He is," Angela said gently, "but he's also one of the most powerful executives in the country." They showed her more, photos at the White House, United Nations Summit, humanitarian awards. "That's impossible," Lena breathed. "He told us you refused $3,000. Her chest tightened. "He told you?" "He told the board." The email. Richard pulled up an email on the tablet, sent at 3:12 a.m. Subject line, "What leadership really means." Lena read it, hands trembling. "Last night I met a woman who reminded me who we are supposed to be. She had every reason to take my money. She needed it more than I did, but she refused. She chose dignity over desperation. If she can think about 400 strangers at 9 p.m. in a storm, then we can think about 400 employees in a boardroom at 8 a.m. Today, we lead with character." Daniel. Her vision blurred. "He wrote that about me?" "He told your story to 200 executives this morning. He didn't use data. He didn't use projections. He used you." The vote. Thomas Green, another attorney, opened another file. The merger vote passed at 10:02 a.m. 3 factories remain open. 400 jobs saved. Lena covered her mouth. "He did it." He walked into that boardroom different, calm, clear, human. Angela added softly, "Something shifted in him." Lena's tears fell freely now. "I just fixed a suit." "No," Richard replied, "you fixed perspective." The viral storm. Thomas turned the tablet again. Social media feeds exploded across the screen. Hashtag the seamstress who said no. Hashtag suit that saved jobs. Hashtag kindness over capital. News headlines. Unknown Tailor inspires billion-dollar decision. Houston seamstress turns down $3,000, saves 400 jobs. "How does anyone even know this?" Lena whispered. "He told the board," Angela said. "Someone leaked it. It went viral within 2 hours." Lena felt dizzy. "I don't want this attention." "You didn't ask for it," Richard said, "but it's here." "Why the lawyers? Why are you here?" she finally asked. Richard and Angela exchanged a glance. "Because Daniel Whitmore is on his way." Her heart stopped. "What?" "He'll be here in less than 10 minutes, and he has something for you." "What kind of something?" Thomas opened a briefcase. Documents, architectural drawings, financial statements, contracts, her name printed on every page. Lena Brooks, Director of Tailoring Services. Numbers she couldn't even comprehend. "I don't understand." Angela smiled softly. "He doesn't want to repay you. He wants to partner with you." Outside, another car pulled up, more expensive than the rest. Security stepped out first, then Daniel Whitmore. Reporters shouted from behind barricades. Cameras flashed. He walked toward the door, and Lena realized her life, the quiet one above a struggling shop, was officially over.
The door opened. Daniel Whitmore stepped inside. Same man, same eyes. But now there were security guards behind him, assistants, reporters shouting outside, police holding back cameras. The small shop felt even smaller. "Lena," he said gently. She stood, legs shaking. "You're really him." He gave a soft smile. "Unfortunately, yes." The lawyers stepped back. "Can we have a moment?" he asked. They exited, leaving the door closed. Only Lena, Daniel, and Mr. Coleman standing protectively near the counter. 1. The apology. "I owe you an apology," Daniel began, "for the shock, for not telling you who I was." Lena crossed her arms. "If I'd known, I would have acted differently." "Exactly," he said. He stepped closer. "Last night, for 4 hours, you didn't see a billionaire.
You saw a father, a scared man. You were both, she said quietly, and I needed someone to see the first one. Silence filled the room. You said you fixed a suit, but you fixed something in me. He pulled folded note cards from his pocket. These were my board notes. He laid them on her sewing table. Handwritten phrases. Character over capital. Dignity before dollars. People over profit. I wrote these after leaving here at 4 a.m. Every argument I made came from our conversation. You told them about me? I told them about leadership. His voice cracked. When the chairman challenged the risks, I told them about a woman who had nothing and still chose integrity. Lena felt her chest tighten. 2. The offer. Daniel signaled to the lawyers. They returned. Blueprints spread across her sewing table, financial projections, contracts. Lena Brooks, Richard read aloud. Proposed Director of Whitmore Employee Services, Tailoring Division. She blinked. I'm sorry, what? Daniel stood beside her. Whitmore Industries has 14,000 employees. Not one has access to professional tailoring support, interview preparation, uniform repair, formal wear adjustments. And I want you to build it. The room went silent. You want me to what? Lead it. Angela slid a rendering across the table. Her shop. Expanded. Renovated. 6 workstations. Modern industrial machines. Training center. Preserved brick facade. The name stays. Brooks Alterations. Your grandmother's machine stays. Her picture stays. Lena stared at the blueprint. Investment. $2.4 million. Her heart pounded. This isn't real. It is, Richard said calmly. You will own 30% equity in the division. 30%? She whispered. You won't be my employee, you'll be my partner. 3. The numbers. Thomas continued. Starting staff, 12 local hires. Starting salary, $48,000 plus full benefits. Health insurance, retirement plans, paid training. Lena slowly sat down. I make $32,000 a year. Daniel knelt beside her chair. Your salary, $125,000 annually, plus profit share. She shook her head. No, I'm not qualified. I've never run anything like this. You've run this shop for 13 years through economic collapse. You've kept standards high while barely surviving. That's not corporate leadership. That's real leadership. Angela added softly. We can teach spreadsheets. We can't teach integrity. Daniel wasn't finished. There's more. Lena looked up cautiously. The Whitmore Foundation Scholarship. Her breath caught. Full tuition. For Marcus. 4 years. Any university. She covered her mouth. No. Room, board, books, living stipend. No strings attached. Tears streamed down her face. He wants to study engineering, she whispered. Then he will, Daniel said firmly. He shouldn't have to choose between education and survival. 5. The bigger vision. Thomas laid out another projection. Year 3, 150 employees nationwide, 15 tailoring centers across our facilities. Estimated value of your equity by year 5, $5 to $8 million. Lena stood up abruptly. This is too much. No, Daniel said calmly. It's proportional. To what? To impact. He met her eyes. You saved 400 families last night. I fixed a shoulder seam. You reminded a boardroom what humanity looks like. Silence. 6. Marcus arrives. Can my son be here before I decide? She asked. Of course. 20 minutes later, Marcus rushed into the shop, breathless. Mom,
Why are there news vans outside? She pulled him close and told him everything. His eyes widened with every sentence. They're offering you partnership? Yes. And my college is covered? Yes. He grabbed her hands. Mom, you always tell me not to shrink when life opens a door. She stared at him. You worked in the dark for a stranger. You can do this. Daniel watched silently. 7. The signature. Lena picked up the pen. Her hand trembled. Daniel leaned in. You're not signing your life away, he said softly. You're signing into it. She signed. Once. Twice. 10 times. Richard smiled. Welcome to Whitmore Industries, Director Brooks. Daniel opened a velvet box. Inside, a gold-plated professional sewing kit. Finest shears, premium thread, custom engraved. Every master deserves master tools. She cried openly. This is too beautiful. So are you, and you shouldn't have to struggle anymore. 8. 6 months later. The neighborhood transformed. Construction crews preserved the brick exterior. Inside, expanded space, bright lighting, industrial machines. Her grandmother's singer sat in a glass display case. Plaque beneath it. Clara Brooks, Master Seamstress, 1951 to 2018. Her hands built this legacy. 12 employees hired. Factory workers, veterans, single mothers, a formerly incarcerated man rebuilding his life. Training lasted 8 weeks. Lena taught more than stitching. She taught philosophy. Every garment has a person inside it. Respect the person. Grand opening drew 500 people. Revenue first month, $18,000. By month 4, they launched free services every Saturday for job seekers. Interview suits, resume consultations, confidence restored. By month 6, 260 people served for free. 70% employment success rate. Expansion to 3 new cities. Lena's earnings exceeded 5 years of her old income. But the money wasn't the miracle. The impact was. The coffee shop next door hired 2 new employees. The bookstore expanded. The block came alive. 9. The full circle. 6 months to the day, 8:58 p.m. Rain tapping on the window. A knock. Urgent. Desperate. Lena opened the door. A young woman stood there, soaked. I have a teaching interview tomorrow. The bus door tore my skirt. I can pay $30. It's all I have. Lena felt history repeating. She smiled. Come in. How much? She asked nervously. Nothing. What? Someone once invested in me. I'm continuing the circle. 30 minutes later, the skirt was perfect. Get the job and help someone else someday. The woman nodded, tears falling. Outside, Daniel pulled up for their weekly coffee ritual. He'd seen everything. Old habits? He teased. Best habits, she replied. They sat quietly. You know, Lena said, if I had taken your $3,000 that night, this would have ended there. He nodded. A transaction. Instead, she said, it became transformation. Daniel smiled. The biggest returns aren't financial. She looked at her shop glowing warmly behind them. You fixed her skirt, he said. She'll do the rest. That's how it works. Lena Brooks didn't calculate kindness. She didn't ask what she would gain. She simply chose decency when it was hardest. And it changed everything. Not because she was extraordinary, but because she chose to be.